Hi, and welcome to another tutorial with Mr. Petrimo. Today we're going to run through a demonstration of a Nearpod lesson with some distance learning. So you'll be able to see the teacher side and you'll be able to see the student side. So we are just practicing. We're not going to concentrate too much on answering questions with real answers. We're just going to quickly run through this and show you what it looks like. So here's our first slide. Digital Drama Unplugged is my sample lesson that I'm going to use. Notice down at the bottom, the narration is here for kids to hit the play button. You won't be able to hear it in this audio, but the kids will be able to hit that and listen to the directions. We're going to go on to slide 2, and on student, this is teacher-paced mode, so this is a live lesson, so the teacher is in charge. What you're looking at now is if a Nearpod is asking me if I want to allow all devices to hear the audio clips, and I'm going to say yes, all devices. If I were in a regular classroom, I might hit no and just do one source of audio and video. But since we're distant learning, everybody has to have access to the audio and video. So here's our essential question. And like I said, I'm going to move through this very quickly. Here's our learning objectives. These are the points that if you were in Google Meet with a classroom full of kids and you were running your Nearpod lesson, you would stop and explain your learning objectives and stop and go over your essential question, just like you would if you were in a traditional classroom. Group norms discussion about respects and viewpoints. And now the students are getting an open-ended question. Now on my screen, you're going to see the answers populate. And I have an option down here. On the other screens, the students are going to put in an answer and hit the submit button. I'm going to actually hide student names on this one. And you notice the students turn to asterisks. If you were in a traditional classroom and your presentation was up on the board, you would want to hide these answers as I wait for the students to enter their answers. These students should be entering an answer now. And it doesn't matter what you answer. And now we'll wait. Your participation meter is up here. And I see one answer is in, and I'm waiting for the second answer. And you'll see the share button. During a live lesson, when you have an answer that comes in that might be a great example, you can actually share that out to the class, and then everybody gets to see that answer without the name on it. So it's kind of an anonymous sharing. And then I'm going to unshare that. So I'm going to move on to the next digital drama. And the next slide is a video. So every student will be able to hit the play button and listen to the video at their own pace. So again, we're going to move quickly through this one. And another open-ended question. So both of my students, please go ahead and submit an answer. And remember, don't worry about the content of your answer. Just say yes or no or something quick and enter it so we can move through the demonstration quickly. Now, since I'm on distance learning and none of the students are looking at my screen, I can show their names, and that way I can help guide them through if they're behind the lesson. So another open-ended question. What are some ways to deal with digital drama? And they're going to enter their answers again. Now, open-ended questions also, you can add a timer if you'd like. If you'd like to give them 2 minutes to respond or 1 minute to respond, or sometimes if it's a long prompt, I'll give them 5 minutes to respond. There we go, thank you. All right, here is our reading portion. So again, I narrated this so the students can hit that play button and read along with my voice, and I'm reading this scenario, and then we're gonna move along to the draw it activity is next. So students on the other end of this device, would you mind just drawing in X's in the 3 pieces of the chart and then go ahead and submitting so that we can see what that looks like on the teacher's end, and just as quickly as you can. And you see I get a sample of what's in progress. There you go. And so you can click on those and look at each response, and you can actually share these out with the other students too, so they can each see the answers on the draw it. So moving on right along, we have another slide that is just a vocabulary slide with a narration, and then we're into a scenario that we would stop and discuss and read together as a class, and then we're going to move on to another Open-ended question. Take a moment to choose your role. Think about your role and what the person might be thinking and feeling based on the scenario. Decide on what you could say next to be true to your feelings, but also to de-escalate the situation. So they're going to take their time and answer that. And this is what happens. I do not want you to submit an answer this time, students. This is what happens when I go ahead and navigate the slide ahead of them. So I want you to see that. Neither one of them had submitted their answers yet, and I moved the class forward. Now, they don't have an answer submitted right now, but the next slide, like this one, they're on the quiz now. The next time they hit that submit button, it will submit whatever they had partially typed in that previous answer. So go ahead and do the quiz questions as quickly as you can and just take guesses. I want to see corrects and incorrects. And you will see the scores start populating as soon as they hit the submit button on each question. Very good, almost done. One more answer. All right, very good. At the end of the quiz, I can share that quiz, and that's what it looks like on the student screen. And then I'm going to unshare and move to our final slide, which is just a wrap up. We are kind and courageous. So there's a quick run through of a typical Nearpod lesson. This was on super fast mode. Normally you'd take your time and teach your lesson and guide your kids through and have questions on Google Meet and answer questions and have a regular lesson. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and thank you again. We'll see you next time.